doing foam and light practice work inherently. The specific sort of couple of drills we're going to show today, the big upside of those is they give you a transition method between I am standing statically on the Pell, throwing this shot, doing whatever it is you're working on, and now I'm in the middle of a fight, moving all over the place, and everything's happening, and I'm getting hit, and I'm trying to do this technique. And for most of us, that is a really hard jump to make in one step. Using these tools, we can build very slowly through multiple steps, all the way from basically static to doing a full fight, and just add elements as we go. So it helps you bridge, helps you learn how to get there instead of trying to just do it all at once. So the thing we do the absolute most is simply learning how to walk and throw at the same time. Instead of needing to come to a complete stop to set up and throw your shot, and then move around, and then come to a complete stop to throw your shot. Or conversely, the other way it goes wrong is people are moving around and then they just sort of randomly throw and all of their technique goes away while they're moving. So this series of drills we put together help you learn how to build those up. So essentially they are all just walk and throw drills, but we're going to learn how to do it in a bunch of different directions. We're going to talk about how to build up and how to add complexity. And then we're going to do, the final drill is going to be a target chasing drill. So the very first one we're going to do, which is usually where you want to start with people, and we've got, I think, enough pads and swords, we're going to be able to partner up and everybody's going to get to try it. Literally walking straight forward and throwing a shot at the same time.
Go on. Dummy?
In a second, yeah. I'm going to just do it without a partner here to start with. But effectively, what we want to do is you're just going to walk. Basic walk, and then in the middle of it, learn how to throw that shot without stopping. What a lot of people end up doing, again, it's that I'm taking a step and I have to hesitate to throw and then keep moving. And we want to smooth that out, but still be able to get the body mechanics. So what I like to do, as the way that we throw our shots normally, as I'm kind of pushing forward with that hip, I throw right with that step as that foot is pushing off the ground. Throw into your partner's mitt here. So, Sivrid, you would like to demonstrate as the thrower. We go there, we'll go that way, and the camera should be able to see us. So, there is such a thing as too slow. It's actually harder if you go way too slow. So, like a nice medium walking pace. And to start with, you're going to take like 4 or 5 steps and then throw on every step. So we start out with just walk, fix the shot.
I'm not done with that. I'm like, we'll play high game, and then you see targets. I'm like, I can hit that shit. I'm like, I don't know how to do
that. Get like shots in there, and you're not struggling or falling over or having to stop those. Then you go, all right. Every time you step with that foot, say it for the camera. Every time you step with that foot, you're going to throw. Over and over and over.
Call.
Important notes for being the drill partner here, the one holding the pad. You need to walk at a consistent pace. Don't randomly speed up and slow down. Later on, we'll do that on purpose, but then we know we're doing it. While someone is still just figuring out how to move and throw, don't randomly change pace. Don't move the target around. You have to be a nice, consistent help for them. And the smoother you can walk, and not, if you're bouncing around, it's going to be harder. You're giving them a moving target. So this is your chance to work on your own footwork. That nice, smooth walk. The person throwing the sword, their job is to work on smoothing out their walk, throwing right in time with it, and actually getting the body mechanic for power, not just the arm while the legs don't do anything.
Switch around. Watch your timing.
And the goal is to maintain the exact same distance between us. I, the mid partner, have to move at a consistent speed, and then he has to either adjust or
Real off time. So just make sure you started wrong and then it threw you off a little bit. So as I start, she's gonna start.
range.
Range, right.
So,
Okay.
start
Yeah,
by
fix that post production.
reach out to the end of your shot. Just reach it out so we find the range. Okay. And now we go. Closer. Short sticking.
But sometimes you may have to adjust for your opponent's distance and their walk. So the same thing as the pad partner, adjust, try to find where it's comfortable.
So try to start at that good distance and maintain it. So, everybody grab a partner.
And there's lots of swords. I think Sven wouldn't mind us using his little beat swords over there as well.
Well,
He's right there.
might be leaving, I don't know.
Oh, is it? Hey, Sven, can we use your beat swords for a bit? Okay, there's 3 more swords in that bin over here.
Yeah.
Prepares
If
one
everybody
each.
pairs up, so one
Pair up
person with
somebody.
an
You got enough of them?
with a
We're good.
sword.
Oh, that's right. They have pad people too.
Got a pad, got a sword. Got a sword, got a pad.
All right.
Good.
Nice and light.
It's just you don't want to stop and wait. You want to do it as you move, but not while your foot's in the air.
Most of the time it's like that. Yeah, and actually don't even care if it's grabber. You can throw while it's in the air, but the key is that tip is going. Your sword should land as your step, as your foot hits in really good time. There you go. Get your range. Yep.
What we learned is you can do it. It just
And now we see how your hip is behind you when you're throwing. So wrong. Good. This time do it again.
Now switch it.
And move it. And step.
I was before now. You were doing it. You weren't like slipping.
It's like, dear friends on the camera, and we'll tell it to them in a minute when people get back down here. I was showing how I like to do it sort of as I'm pushing with that foot, so I'm actually kind of throwing while stepping with my left. You can also do it while stepping with that right foot and just use the momentum of it going forward. Ultimately, both work, but you have to experiment and find what feels good in your body, or ideally learn both. But whoever is teaching you, or whoever you are teaching, like you might just define, this is the one we're doing today, RAR, and drill that so that there is a correct answer while you're doing it.
I'm so used to hearing so many different places to do it one shot.
Okay. Tell us when to switch.
Okay.
Are we going to switch like after a person's done with 2 or 3 of them? Or?
Yeah?
A lot of people have switched once.
No, they did it twice. You do it
They
twice.
already switched, so.
There you go.
But people are moving at different paces.
That's fine.
Which is normal.
And ready? Are you in range? Look a little far away. Yep, there you go. Good, okay. And step. Step. Oh, yeah.
I'll still be here some, but I'll want to be
And he's really kind of like very much
Okay, we're going a little faster. Ready? Hey.
one more time down and back. Then we're going to try backwards.
No, this chair I'm sitting in.
I wouldn't mind that. Completely backwards. Sure.
Tell him not to swing so hard. He doesn't have to swing in 100%.
I know.
How's that? Is that looking better?
I did not see that last time. I'm sorry. I was talking to
It's actually hard.
Yeah, I know. Just watch the movie with the real
it's also a good time to focus on things like not leaning forward. You'll notice your arm has to drift up overhead. You start leaning forward.
You notice that you're throwing, you're landing, and then throwing a little behind. So now
while you're
do this.
throwing and
Just
walking.
stand there for a second. All I want you to do is this. Back. All at the same time. As you start moving this forward, move your sword. Yep. Good. Do it again. There you go. Do it again. See how we're working isolating that movement because people have a problem. The good part about this is I can see you guys, you got one too? Yep. You guys been doing the 100 pelt challenge, right? This adds us a different idea to that pelt challenge. So if you get a chance, look at our rotational drill one we did. We did our poles. You can actually do that with your 100 pelt challenge. It's like, okay, I'm going to throw this low. Bang, bang. I'm going to throw this low. Bang, bang. And you're adding motion and movement. And you're adding good footwork. If I have to turn that foot while I'm going around. Circle around it. And then what? Like, I'm going to put my foot on that circle, face my hip. Put my foot on that circle, face my hip. Okay? You need me to cut those for you? I'm good. Sure, I'll only take like 4 or 5 inches.
I'm trying to cut my cable. How am I going to get home?
Yeah, go ahead.
You could do backwards and
Demoed everything and then tried it, but it'll be nice.
All right, everybody bring it in.
Bring it back down this way. So now, we're going to go backwards. The person throwing the sword will go backwards. That's the obvious next step after going forwards. We go backwards. So Louis is going to demo here.
okay.
Make sure we're in view. And so again, when walking backwards, we have to think about when is my hip going forward. It's while this other foot is coming back. So we're going to be throwing as that hip is pushing forward. So now that pad person, as you're moving forward, now try not to run them over. Again, nice consistent speed. Excellent living health.
Good.
I finished off the last game, right? I also forgot what's the SDs.
I have a bottom.
Good luck.
So what he's demonstrating here is what happens when you try and throw on that opposite foot. He's pushing his hand forward while his hip is going backwards. And you'll note how it didn't look right.
And the hard part there is you just
You're like,
reaching.
you're fighting your own hip. So,
All right.
everybody feel comfortable trying that one? Yeah.
All right. Gonna do this one a little faster so we can make it through all of them.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of them.
So the person throwing is going back.
Nice job. So now it's interesting. Just walk the other way. There you go. Yeah.
And again, if you're still trying to find that spot, you don't have to throw with every step. You can throw every fourth step. It is the responsibility of whichever person is moving forward to make sure the person moving backward doesn't run into something.
It's a snap on.
Yeah, but she doesn't work on
Time you can get real nitpicky.
You're right. You look tired. I could tell. I could tell what you were doing.
Like a half a second before your foot landed. Fix it.
I saw you did that. All right, so they're rocking through these drills, and because we're live here at Pennsic, we want people to be able to go through these drills and see stuff. Hopefully you can get an example of what's going on here. In this effort, really the key is to be able to actually practice things you don't get to practice at home. How many times do you walk backwards and throw blows? This helps you with the timing, helps you with your you know if you're stopping and stuttering. It breaks all those things down, so it allows you to be more smooth.
One shot there felt really good.
Yeah, and that's the idea, right? See, and that's the flow you're looking for. But how many times do you practice that? You don't, right?
And it's good when you're on the retreat to be able to
100, because that's
totally connect.
100%. Also, you notice while you're backing up, the key, and keep focusing on that, is you're not backing up by pushing, because then your shoulders are down. If I'm holding my hand up here and you're leaning, it's very hard to throw it. But as you're just dropping out of it, it's super easy to throw. Sit in the saddle.
So we got straight, we got more forward, and we got more back.
All right, go ahead and
All right, everybody do your final run down this way.
all right, over here. Okay, go where the camera is.
So we've gone forward, we've gone backwards. The next step we're going to do is we're going to go forward and backwards at an angle. I need my demo partner.
Hey, what do we have?
So now we can go forward and backwards at an angle. You have two different angles to go at, one off to my right, one off to my left. And the way we want to do that, the very important part while throwing the shot, so I'm going to pretend I have the sword here, is I don't want to turn my hips at that 45-degree angle and walk, because the person I'm trying to hit is still over here. I'm trying to throw across that, or if I'm turned the other way, this is not really good shot mechanics. You're going to have a hard time generating proper power. Instead, what we want to do is if you just sort of imagine that there were two like diagonal lines, one running through your foot, I'm just stepping my feet along those diagonal lines while my hips stay facing forward. Same thing if I'm going backwards. The whole time my hips are pointed right at the person I'm trying to hit. They're just going along these diagonal lines.
Like railroad tracks.
So this is one where if you're having a hard time with it at home and you want to drill it, paint the lines, walk along them. It should be 1 foot on each line, not on the same line.
Now for this drill,
Like
you're
walking
saying,
balance beam, that's going to be weird.
for this drill, you're not switching. You're keeping one line. It's one angle, right?
To start with,
Right.
level 1 is just keep one consistent angle. As you advance with this one, you can change and make it a shallower angle, a deeper angle. You can change which diagonal you're doing in the middle.
There's a lot of things.
But Jimmy's going to show this actually throwing now.
Next year I learned
The way I was have the problem behind me.
Notice now, he's gotten ahead of me. He's still managing the position, not directly in front.
Oh, I should. I'm going to go to the next. I should like set up this thing. Like on the website.
Yeah,
There's no way to add.
you're right.
And then after like
learning.
So again, you'll note, as the pad partner, even though I'm not getting to practice the sword swing, it's still a really great time to work on my own footwork. I'm still practicing keeping those hips forward, moving on that diagonal, being upright. Everybody gets something out of this. So, does that make sense? All right. So now,
This is actually a four-part drill. They need to go the other way.
you can. And as you get better at it, you can start mixing and matching. We'll do okay, you're going forward, and then we instantly change and go backwards. We'll do a diagonal and then the other and come back. Or we'll do, keys.
What about plus?
We will get to straight sideways next. But then eventually we'll move into sort of free movement.
All right.
I want everybody to try a diagonal first. We might need to all agree what diagonal we're doing so that they don't always run into each other. So that one's and or just spread out from your starting points. Again, whoever's moving forward, your job is to make sure the person moving
So now you're not
backwards
going diagonal anymore.
doesn't ring. You
Right.
turned your hips.
So just point here. If we're going on that diagonal this way, we're facing this way. We're facing this way. And you should feel like your feet are crossing. Keep your hips forward. Yep. There you go.
I'm already tired, so that's done.
Turn your hips.
These are harder right now. So think about your practice. You'll see that your hip is in line. See? Hip is forward.
It's got a weird. I mean, it's got that lactate, like that finger solution taste.
Yeah, pass across the front. Pass that back foot.
She just Gatorade everything, right? It's like a buck nice double tap machine. Yeah, but yeah.
keep watching. I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to show anything. But this one with the diagonals can benefit greatly from being in a room or somewhere that has nice, you know, big square walls to use as a reference point. Out here in the open field, it can be a little difficult to tell if you've turned off at a diagonal with your hips or not. So having, you know, a distinct wall at the back of fight practice or something that you can at a glance look and see that your hips are either pointed perpendicular at it or not. Like having that frame of reference really helps.
Or easily enough, you can just follow the same line, but you can face 45 degrees left or 45 degrees right when you're traveling the same line, so that you're constantly knowing which direction you're traveling.
Same with your forward angle. Like if you try to pass back on your forward angle, your hips turn out. So it pass forward on the forward angle.
It was weird.
I know.
I don't think I usually do.
Right? That's correct.
New and uncomfortable.
So a lot of times.
New and uncomfortable. That's learning.
Oh, so that's an option. Because here you're crossing back. So I usually here, right? You can throw it back. That's a switch, but here, that's forward angle.
If you want to think about it,
Going the wrong way.
generally.
No, try the other one. So go behind with the foot. There. Really? But you're. So, think about how much longer it is, right? You can do them either. This is one of those. Yeah, you can switch a little bit. But this is one of those. Usually on the land.
Right. The general statement there is usually when your sword hip is pushing forward, it feels more comfortable.
Yep. Not that you can't throw on all of those timings.
So we're going to let them do their last run, and then we're going to talk about straight sideways formally instead of the informal we just did.
There you go. Good. This is a good chance for you to practice your sideways mark. Good. There you are. Yep, we talked about it.
So, straight sideways. We saved this one for after diagonals because it's actually really hard and weird.
This was the hardest one.
And we're gonna break like all of the cardinal rules in the universe by throwing while our feet are crossed, but it's okay. We're trying to make it where they can actually see what's going on. But for the straight sideways, it's going to be different if you're moving to your right towards your shorthand, everyone here is right-handed, or if you're moving away from your shorthand. So, like, I'm set up to demo right, you're set up to demo the other. So I guess I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you explain the step because I will be doing it backwards from over here.
So same thing. Right now, my left foot's in front. It's going to stay in front all the time. My right foot's in back. It's going to stay in back all the time. So I'm just going to keep them in their lanes, and I'm going to be stepping sideways, basically like passing steps.
Hips are going to stay facing straight that way. The feet are just going to go sideways.
And I want to keep my hips forward and straight as I'm traveling.
The easier it is to actually get that cross without twisting your hips. And then Louis is going to show you where in the step to throw.
And they are like the best shows you've ever. They like get people, like literally they're playing in a club. It's like, all right, they're playing this like workout songs. While they're all playing, I've got like
I don't think
This is
there's
for where we're moving away from our sword arm. It's kind of, it looks weird, it'll feel weird when you try it, but it does work.
I gotta think about that.
Away from the sword arm that way. As you cross.
that forward one. So here's if you're looking at the forward cross. Yep. Just pull that foot in the back here.
We're traveling the other direction now. I'm going to do it in front.
It does get a little twist in there.
Like trying to throw like while stepping out like this can be done. I don't like it as much.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll do this same one, and you can just, since I a little bit more side and we're traveling sideways, so I'll square the legs up a little bit instead of be long, and you can actually go ahead and I can. Then you notice I just switch foot in it, so it doesn't matter, either of those work. Just understand which one you're doing. And that's as Louis explained it very well. He's like, whichever foot's in front travels, or which is in the back travels which way. So in this case, I started flat, but this foot ended up being the one in the back. Stayed in the back.
You don't really want to do the grapevine where it switches every time.
Unless that's what you're trying to do.
Again, it can be done.
Yep.
It's not ideal.
This is a very difficult step. We had trouble with it for a long time. So
We're going to go ahead
but
and
it
give a
absolutely
try.
happens.
But I promise this, unlike you could like have it magically work on the first try, this one takes work. So definitely take this one home, pull the video up.
But the fundamental point is practice and learn to overcome this uncomfortable feeling of how you're throwing while moving sideways and forward and back and diagonal, where it's just part of your fight.
Good job.
And it does not need to be a big giant crossover. Just like barely in front or just barely to the other side. It's totally fine.
So in a fight, Louis, come on over here. In a fight, you guys wonder, like, when do you apply this in a fight? A lot of times, you have a person that does very good footwork, and we're going to be traveling these. He's going to keep with me. See how we're like keeping up. So, and then he throws and hits me, right? So that's why this works so well. So I was traveling, Louis was traveling and throwing. It's not a good combination for me.
So your hips are pointing ahead of you. There you go. The drop.
What we just did was the shield arm. That one. All we did was the short arm.
Then you need more.
So the crossover.
Very nice. Well done.
Wait, actually,
Notice the good part is you're kind of getting used to you do a roll return and you're getting used to it.
Yeah,
now,
feels a lot better.
Awesome.
So now doing the short arm cross.
Yeah.
Is it still with the same leg or is it here?
It's whichever leg you have forward or would like to have forward. So
You decide.
So like if your normal stance is left foot forward, like I'm keeping that
Opposite
forward.
works. This one. So now do this one.
What we were just discussing over here, well everyone was down on that end of the field. This is one of many times where the more you can get down in that squat, you can actually use that drop as part of your throw. So as
The drop is the end of it. Yeah, that's a good point.
you're going this way, it's like dropping into it.
Roll sideways. Square those feet on them. There you go. Yeah, that's better.
These lovely ladders we have painted in the ground are really good for practicing this. You can put one foot on the front and one foot on the back of this line and practice just moving straight down it. Or use the two lines for a slightly wider stance. Everyone stays on that line.
Much better, Talon.
Stays on this line.
Good.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I got our pace.
Yeah, but isn't that cool that you could start finding your pace going on? right? And that's actually part of this drill.
Well, I knew at the end my sword was starting to get I was getting more.
Are you going to do pace change in this drill?
Here. And then
Or are you going to do free movement first?
And then the cross was the movement.
You're going to do free movement? Yep.
I'm not sure that that's necessarily a bad thing.
What's that?
I noticed at the end that my timing out
Out a little bit.
but boom.
Yeah, you're just sitting into it. It's actually, they brought it up about sitting into it.
Okay. Winds up being comfortable in the situation.
There is a way to make any of the
One
steps
piece
work.
on that.
So if that one is like working for you and you're dropping it low,
They brought it up in the video earlier.
and ideally we would practice and learn how to do all of them. But especially for starting, find the one that makes sense.
Making it work for you.
Well, or even as that back foot is coming. There you go. So now, yes, man, right there. And then, so actually before that. So here, and then there. Or you can do it in between, like you were just doing. But try either one. Find the most comfortable. Okay. See how she sits in the cross. Right.
All right. So, I know we could keep working this for a long time, but I want to get through all the curriculum, so we're going to keep talking. So, we have all of our basic directions now. We can go forward and back. We can go sideways. We can go with diagonals. So like we talked about, the next step, once you've gotten comfortable with those, is start mixing them up. Said we go do backwards and then go straight forward. Practice going sideways and then changing to diagonal. Sort of fixed pieces like that. And then eventually we work up to full-on free movement. So the person with the pad is the one leading. They decide where you go, and you just mix it up.
And you
just
follow.
keep going, and the other person's job is to follow and keep throwing those shots.
And maintain distance.
Maintain that distance, stay in front of the person. If in the middle of the drill you find that, you missed a direction change or you got too far ahead of them in the motion, you don't have to stop and reset. Just make smaller steps or take an extra couple of quick steps to get back oriented where you should be and keep going. So that is part of the practice. You're never going to do everything perfect in a fight. At some point you're going to end up not where you want to be. You got to just make that little correction and get back at it.
I imagine as a martial beginner fighter, it might be best to start with like choreographed movement. For this way, for this way, for that way, and then lead to the free falls.
Yep. So that's kind of what we were meaning with the, okay, we're going to do back and then forward. We're going to go this way and then a diagonal. Pre-lay that out, and as you get better, you can loosen it up, and it becomes, his job is just to follow me. Get a little bit off and I'll have to correct it, but that's okay.
The chin one is the only one you actually need it. And when the string breaks,
Alright. Again, if you find yourself off, if something doesn't feel right, if you miss one of the throws, stop throwing for a second while you get everything back together, and then go back at it.
Yeah. Not every step has to be a throw.
Everybody give that a try, and then we'll talk about the distance.
Also, after that one, talk about doing it without touching. This is it changes the movement. You do the movement first normally, and then get to the step. But we did move it already. Good, nice.
There we go. Yep, so we can see Titus here is adding a helpful aid by actually pointing and telling his partner what direction they're moving now. If someone is not ready to actually just do it purely by feel, that's a really great help. So they know where you're going.
It was pretty close.
And I said it earlier out in the field, but I don't know if the camera got to hear it. We are working on this so that we can throw good mechanics and well-powered shots in a fight. But we don't need to do it every shot throughout the drill. You can do taps and just figure out your body mechanic. And then for the last run through, or the last couple of run throughs, go ahead and pick up the power. But even with these light, half-pound foam swords, you will wear out your shoulder if you just hammer for every blow. You don't need to. Get the technique right and then power it up.
No angles, just natural feet form and circles. And you just change those circles. Just relax and just follow.
My brain's broken.
There you go. Good.
That time I got it.
Yeah. Good. Good. Nice. Okay. Don't be interrupted. You see what that's a little hard.
I can't guarantee you it's going to like, I just have to. You jumped that way and I just swung my arm against it.
Yeah. And actually this ridge helped her a lot. Because I just sat there and, okay, I'm going to throw a blow. So here we were, I'm going to throw this hold it flat. I'm going to throw this blow. And she just goes, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to walk backwards. And she just starts walking.
I think it was late in you.
Y'all can't hear what Bronis is saying right now, but what he's showing is how we progressed through this when I was learning it the first time, of just standing there statically, throwing the shots, and then he would tell me, okay, now you're going to go backwards, or now you're going to go forward, and we would just do that. And then we added the other directions. So, as we keep saying, this is meant to be a progression. You can start static, add more and more and more movement until you get there. Bridge is a good word. All right, guys.
And they don't need armor.
Go ahead and bring it back in. So as we all
Come on back in.
It is really hard to learn how to walk and throw if you don't already know how to walk. So you can take these exact same drills, toss the swords entirely out, and just do them as a movement. You can start with just learning how to walk, how to move in each of the directions in a smooth, controlled manner.
Maintaining range.
Maintaining range. So you can start, someone who's brand new and has no idea what's going on, don't put the sword in it yet. Just learn how to maintain that range as we walk together. And then you can work it up through all the different directions. We work it into free motion, and what you're actually doing there is ultimately building into connection. Ron's taught a whole class on it, so I'm not going to dig too deep into it, but it's that being able to feel from the other person where they're going. So that
No, I don't know what.
So or you can lead them, whichever one.
I think what happened was,
and feeling that range, so that even when
it's kind of bounced off.
just a little bit off, you can tell and go, oh, I gotta fix that.
And I disengaged, but I didn't actually.
Then, once we're comfortable moving
just
it
fight
all, then add the sword.
Slam.
Figure all that out. And then we're going to add one more drill that starts very static and then can be layered on top of everything we just did.
I was like, you missed.
The next way to do that is start changing the target. We just threw everything at the head.
And for whatever reason, I just ended
You can also do all of these same drills throwing at the leg.
That's why I'm like,
Or
after that happened, I'm like, that's fine.
any side of the body, the offside
Like,
head.
clearly that was not.
You can change it up.
I I either missed. I got my sword. I think I did.
Again, step one of
I
that
tried
build
to
is
recover it.
every single shot is that leg shot. Every single shot is that offside shot. The new drill we're doing is
Yeah, you got it. It worked.
you actually have to track the target. So we start static.
It was the key though was the initial whip. Like he whipped me, and then I'm like, oh boy, and then like we got tied up. And I'm like,
him a target, and he's gonna hit it.
yeah.
And then
I
I'm
actually
gonna
think
say,
I
we're
think
over
I
here.
was literally like this. Yeah. And it cracked me in the skull. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I did there.
And if I want to
But
give him the
this
same
one more
target
fight,
twice in
because
a row,
that
I just
clearly
kind
is a
of
sign
pick
of
it
someone
and bring
being
it back,
cheated.
so he knows that's the target.
Yeah.
Person with the sword, your job is don't throw again until the target has changed.
I mean,
Because if you start throwing a second shot here while I'm
I don't
moving
think I
it,
was
I'm
blocking
gonna get hit in
anything.
the head. Palm sword, I won't die, but I'm not going to be real excited about it. Be nice to your drill partners. Person with the pad, your job is to be very clear about what the target is. Make sure it's, move and stop. It's not meant to be a constantly moving target. Maybe you can work up to that eventually, but make it clear. Here.
You guys don't.
Here.
You guys don't.
This leg. It's that leg. Once
I can protect my arm.
up as they get better at tracking that target. But it's still here.
It's actually kind of like, I don't know why.
Obvious targets. Then you can start walking with it. You can go through every single one of those stages we already did, but now it's a moving target. So just walking forward.
I went on the campus like, so, see there, what happened? I'm like, well, you know, I want
Just backwards, just sideways. Then we start doing our free motion, we change it up, we build all the way into it. Before you know it, you're like, this close to actually
very hard to
working.
get that shot.
So,
Oh, no, yeah, then you just throw
you guys are
But I wasn't,
welcome to give that one a try as well. That is the final one we're going to teach today.
No,
As you can see,
no, for sure, I'm not going
it's only a handful of drills, but you can still hours and hours and hours of practice trying to get all those little details into place, working through the progressions from I'm throwing a shot standing still all the way to I'm running around the field
like I hear this
while throwing a bunch of different shots.
basket right on
My
it.
partners, try the static version
What
first
that means is that quick.
to make sure you're giving that good target, and then try moving around a little bit.
Oh, so this is, that's actually funny, is that like, I actually, like, there's a counter, right? Which is that I know I'm not going to keep you guys outside all the time. So I let you think you're winning. Like that for one time.
Yeah, I'll give it a nice hand. Okay. All right, so grab a sword real quick. You can see that everybody's practicing, like, this is just a decision-making drill. They have a lot of these decision-making drills. Lomachenko does them all the time, and this is just our version of decision-making drill. We do a visual decision-making drill. Lomos is a wall touch decision matrix where they call something and he has to touch it. But it's actually just helping with good decisions. Remember that these can be anywhere, right? You know, they showed you it's here, but it's also here, right? Because there's.
Yeah, that's thinking. You should not be thinking. No.
You notice, I know those are always hard. Just that little twist is like, do it again. So these are great ways to make your opponent, like, you're not thinking of the same shot over and over again. You're actually going ahead, and you're just, the more you relax into this, the easier it was, right? So I'm hoping that those drills, and thank you, by the way, I'm hoping that those drills help with just ideas with new people. And to tell you the truth, it's not only great with new people, it's great with everyone in the end. We use them a lot for really breaking down without standing here and letting somebody hit you in the head or whatever else. It's a great way to help break down something before you try to execute it. So what we're trying to do is share these drills so everybody has something to work at home. Great part, you notice that you didn't even have to be in armor to do these drills, and that means when new people show up at fight practice, you're good to go. So thanks everyone, and that's probably it for most of Pennsic for us. We may have one more next Wednesday with His Majesty Thorfinn from the West. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this week of classes. That was good.